Oh, and we're live. So thank you for being patient. Sorry for the slight delay. We had a little bit of a technical issue, and we had to get some on-site support. So here we have Dan, who is, other than an amazing person, allegedly he's he's going to wear a different hat every 5 minutes. So for anybody who's not familiar with your background and your story, can you just kind of fill us in on how you've got to where you are at this point? Clearly you are a genetic supplements man. We can see that with the nice advertising slogans. but can you tell us how you got there? You know, just tell us a bit of background.
You're on a time scale here, you know. This is a long story, so I'll condense it as much as I can. But okay, so I had an accident at the age of 5. Completely bollocks my hip and my pelvis and my left leg up. That's left me with a degenerative condition, which gets worse as I get older. And unfortunately, the past couple of years have really sort of skyrocketed in that process. I can get about a little bit in terms of mobility, but it's getting less and less, and it will actually lead me to being in a wheelchair full time. I was in hospital for months, and then when I came out, I was in a full body plaster cast for months. And it was only when I went to high school that I got a little bit active, and we had a little shitty multi-gym in the high school. I used to go in there during the PE lessons. I mean, before that, I used to stay inside with fucking wrestling figures, playing with wrestling figures. I did, honestly. But yeah, I started lifting weights, and then we got a teacher, PE teacher, that was a basketball fan. He told me I could play basketball in a wheelchair. And then he put me in contact with the local team, started going, got to their potential. And then it's progressed from me going to, twice a week, 3 times a week to now I've played in every major league in Europe, won cups, leagues and trophies in every major, well, bar one in Europe. And I'm a full-time athlete, train 2 times a day, 5 days a week, and play on a weekend. Been all over the world playing for my country, Paralympics, European Championships, World Championships. And I've had an unhealthy obsession with all things training, nutrition, performance-based since I started lifting weights, to be honest with you. I am fascinated by what you put into your mouth, and the way you train can affect the way you feel, the way you look, the way you perform, etc., etc. And I decided about 6 years ago, after training people for fun for a couple of years, that I wanted to do this alongside basketball and build a business out of it, so I can transition from sport into the fitness industry nice and smoothly without being, finishing sport and then thinking, what the fuck do I do now? I'm cracking on in years. I'm 35 years old now, and although I could probably play at the top level for at least another 5 years, I don't really want to, because my body's saying something different. So I'm like, I'm feeling it a little bit more every year and stuff. But I really love training people. I really love helping people, and that's in essence where I am right now. I'm doing the two things that I really love, so I count myself as very fortunate, and I'm very grateful for being able to do what I do.
I mean, on a complete serious note, what you said about transitioning in your sport, I mean, a lot of professional sportsmen in any field have that problem when they finish. And I think in particularly if they have to finish early. So like if it's unplanned retirement, for example, what do they do? You've obviously got some qualifications behind you, but some of them don't. They don't have that. I don't think it's encouraged necessarily in their sport, and so they may be kind of just playing and doing what they're supposed to do when they go to the training, but they maybe don't have a backup plan. And then that crash when they have to, when it's something like maybe major happens, or you know, they get dropped, or nobody wants them if they've got a bad season, then, you know, psychologically, I think that can be very, very difficult to deal with. So what you've done makes a lot of sense to me, because I've seen it this way as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, and as well with, I mean, obviously it depends what sport you play. And I play wheelchair basketball, so there's not a great amount of money involved in professional wheelchair basketball. So, you know, if you may be a rugby player or a football player or something like that, that maybe you can get a little bit more money behind you, which gives you a bit more of a cushion. But it's been really powerful for me in the past 2 years, because in the last 18 months I've been out of the game for nearly a year, because I've had surgery on my hip, and I had a full bicep tendon snap at the end of pre-season training this season. That's had me waylaid for half the season. I've only been back training properly for 10 weeks, and my season finishes next week. So, and that was just a freak accident whilst I was training. But the hip thing was, you know, it's one of them things. It's going to come. It's just a matter of when. But, you know, it's one of those things. Like if those injuries would have left me out for any longer period of time, or had have been career threatening, then, you know, I would have been buggered. Like, you know, I would have nothing else to fall back on if I didn't, you know, work as a coach and helping people, and, you know, have that foundation built before me, because I had an option at 16 to do my A-levels, which I went for about weeks, or get paid to play basketball, and it's like, see you later, school. I just, you know, the schedule for training was too hectic to do 4 A-levels with, and I chose the money. So,
and that is the choice a lot of people make. And to be honest, if you didn't do that at that point, then you might have missed the opportunity to do it. You know, if you'd have picked the A-level instead, you may have rolled, or they may have lost interest in you. You know, the choice you make at the time, I think, was probably the right one. But then you have to go backwards, kind of, almost, when, you know, and go back to school. So
absolutely.
Start learning again.
I'm one of those buggers as well. If I don't like doing something, I won't try it. So, you know, although I was doing A-levels and I was signed up, I wasn't really invested into it. Like, I would have been lazy as hell and would have probably tried to wing it. But, you know, if I like something, then I'm all in, and I like everything to do with health, fitness, nutrition, and training. So, I'm lucky in that sense that that's what I get to do.
I'm only laughing because that is exactly how I did my A-levels. It wasn't until I went to uni, when I found something that I actually wanted to do, that I was really like trying properly. So anybody who was watching, who's like maybe doing A-levels, please don't listen to this. This is not how you do your A-levels. You must try and put some effort in. You know, I mean, I was quite lucky, because I didn't. You know, I suppose I coasted through mine, which wasn't ideal, obviously. But I coasted. It got me to where I wanted to be. It got me to the course I wanted to do. And when I fell in love with the course, I was unstoppable. I would just study for the sake of studying, because I just loved the subject. And I've continued that. And I know, like yourself, you know, you never stop learning in this field, which is amazing. And the food and nutrition, fitness, techniques are always changing, always evolving. People try different things, and that's one of the beauties of what we do. You know, you can manipulate, you can change, you can be scientific, and you can experiment on yourself and try different things as well. So it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. No, I love the fact that with what we do and stuff, it's not just about the scientific side of things, because it's, you know, you work from a basis of that, but then everyone's different, and everyone, you know, you've got to take into account all the real life stuff that you've done with different people, and how different people respond. It's completely like an anomaly to what it should be, and, you know, you try and you get a good feel for what certain people need, just from intuition of having done it with a lot of people in the past. But you always, start with the structure of what you've learned, but then you tweak and you adapt things as you go along, and it's not a case of you do the same for everybody.
Oh no, and that's one of the things I love about it. But I do like it when you come across like there's all these textbook case scenarios. This is what you'll find, this is what will happen, this is what's going to go on, and then you always get the people who have almost the opposite, and that's just fascinating to me as well. But so you do online? Do you do online training, or is it one-to-one? Online.
I do on one-to-one stuff. Generally, when I go back to the UK in the summer, I do a little bit of that, only because I have more time on my hands because I'm not actually training full-time as a basketball player. It's my off-season, but 95% of my stuff's done online.
Okay. So, do you find that harder to work like that?
No, well, I'll be honest with you. The whole business side of things has been a real struggle since I got started because, again, my what kind of attitude would you call it? Very blasé attitude. I thought I could just set up a business and just do it, just wing it, and everything would be fine. And I had a fucking rude awakening because it just didn't work out like that. So getting to grips with not how to run it, but how to let people know that I do what I do and I'm good at it, and actually having everything in place. But actually running it is very easy once you have a system of doing things. It's sort of, as long as I'm on hand to help people during the week and as and when they need it, the way it runs through the systems, it's almost not self-automated because I have to do it, but it's very easy. But it took a lot of legwork to get it that way, if that makes sense.
Do you specialize in any kind of field in particular, or?
Yes, it's actually probably the most frustrating part to do because people want things yesterday in terms of fat loss. But I like the whole reverse dieting and building metabolism up. So over extended periods of time, talking 9 months, 12 months, 16 months, you can get people doubling, trebling the calories that they would normally eat, whilst at the end of it they will have as cliche as it sounds, not the body of the dream, but they're going to be where they want to be in terms of how they look. And then being able to maintain that and double or treble the calories that they were when they started, it just makes life easier because there's no more fucking worrying that you're going out for a meal with your partner and you want to have 3 courses, or putting 5 kilos on at Christmas is not going to happen because you've got that cushion of your metabolism being more robust. But it's a difficult one to get through to people because they don't want to wait that long. So that's what I always try and get people to do, because obviously you're doing it over a long period of time, it's healthier, and then it's much easier to sustain and much easier to manage moving forward after they stop working with me. But I do all the general type, getting people into very good condition and that type of stuff as well.
Okay. In terms of like bodybuilding shows and stuff, or?
I'm actually going to be prepping my first person. He's contacted me today, actually. So it's something something that I've been thinking about doing for a while, but just never really put it out there. And it's something I mentioned to a kid that I know about from my hometown, and he seems keen to go in the idea. And it's actually something I'm doing for free because I've never done anyone before for a show, and it wouldn't feel right taking money for it if I've not done it and got a show type result. Actually getting somebody wound down in for this particular time on this particular day. I don't profess to be a prep expert or anything because I've never done that before. But something that I want to add to my arsenal and see if I enjoy the experience as well. Because if I don't, it's something that I won't continue to do either.
Do you fancy doing one yourself?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe in a couple of years when I finish basketball. It's something that I would like to do, just to say that I've done it. Not because I have the itch to really do it. I really want to do it. It's just something I'd like to experience.
Yeah.
I think the whole preparation, stepping on stage,
prepping people to go through it. It's quite useful to have experienced it yourself, isn't it? I think.
Exactly. I mean, I've got ready for photo stuff before, and it's not the same, but I've dialed stuff in for myself to get ready for a particular day, and whatnot, but not actually for a show where you're going to be judged on your aesthetics and your symmetry and X, Y, Z.
Have you looked into any particular federations or shows that you might want to compete with, or is that way down the line?
Not way down the line, yeah. Not even thought about that.
Would you be prepping yourself, or would you get somebody else?
I would get somebody else, only because I have Superman syndrome and I have a terrible time. I do. Programming for myself is a real struggle because I think I'm Superman and I think I can do everything, and I want to do too much and I don't get it right for myself. I mean, that's why I hire an S&C coach to take care of my stuff during season. Because it's I get an addiction to training and I want to do more. I always want to do more. I don't overtraining. What's that? Like I love feeling like a big mess on the floor. I just have that addiction, that type of feeling. And obviously, when you've got to perform, it's not it's good in certain parts of the season, but I need somebody to put it for me in black and white, and then it's one less thing for me to think about as well. So I'd much prefer to get an expert in the field of strength and conditioning to look after me.
Does it? I mean, does your perception of what they're gonna give you vary that much? I mean, is it that different?
I'm a big pain in the ass. I'm always asking questions. I'm always questioning things, and I must be a nightmare because I'm like, is that enough? Is that enough? When I know it's the same kind of thing I would tell a client, but I just want to always do more. I'm always trying to go the extra mile with everything that I do. I think it's something that I'll never stop being like. But I've been through a stage of overtraining that took me months and months to get out of quite a few years ago. So it's for me something I really need to take care of. Keeping.
Do you think that's anything to do with the mindset following your accident? Because I had not to the same degree as yourself, but I had a car accident and I've got spine and nerve damage, and I think I tend to over, maybe not try over hard. I don't think you can necessarily do that, but I am quite stubborn and I don't like to feel defeated by it. And
that definitely plays a part.
Yeah. I mean, I had the op for the breast cancer in 2015, and I was told I wasn't allowed to do overhead shoulder press. So I'm now making it my mission to do overhead shoulder press, and I'm like, oh my God, it won't. Why can't I do this? And why is because obviously compared to the rest of my body, it feels so weak. But I'm like a woman on action, and I do kind of catch myself, and I've actually started working with someone for shoulder. Because exactly like you say, I go too far with it and I do everything rather than kind of subtle stuff. And I kind of end up in just like you say, a soggy mess on the floor, which feels great, but it's not particularly productive.
No, not at all, not at all. I'm the same with my legs. I didn't do any leg training up until about 2014, and I went from not being able to squat an Olympic bar for 10 reps to in the space of 10 months, I was squatting 40 kilos a side, 10 sets to 10 in 10 months, and then I had to go and have hip surgery because I did something wrong. And then 6 weeks after hip surgery, I was wanting to squat again, and I keep wanting to do it, but I know like I'm going to be in bits for a week after just doing a little bit. And I've had to really just sort of accept that I'm not going to be able to do that anymore because I want to start. I mean, I don't want to be hobbling around in pain for forever. So.
But that is exactly the same as me, though. I have to be honest. Okay, so I have a slightly bizarre question from somebody. Do you have any controversial views about any of the fads that are going on at the moment in the fitness industry?
Well, they're not controversial. I just think they're all a load of bollocks. Can I just say for 1 second, you're going to kill me, but my laptop's down to about 7%.
All right. Go and get your charger.
For 1 second.
Yeah, I'll fill the gap. Don't worry. Okay, so while Dan goes off to get his charger because he's completely unprepared and his laptop's nearly about to die, if anyone's got any questions about disability training or nutrition or any of the nutrition fads that we've got in the sort of fitness industry at the moment, any fitness fads that anyone wants to ask questions about, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, poor Dan is going to be bombarded with the the questions, so I'm going to ask him. And apparently, there's a strange cat queuing. So yeah. So this is a slight interlude. I don't really know. Maybe I should do some sing a song or something. Anyway. Oh no! Look, I can see him. He's back. That's brilliant.
Oh, come on!
So just feel free to ask some questions.
You want me to ask you questions?
Ask him a question.
Ask you a question. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
The guy that owes you 30 quid for the IT.
Hello. Hey, mate, how you doing?
This is the IT.
Oh, it's been an hard weekend, mate, I tell you. I'm told to ask you questions.
Ask him a question.
I don't know.
What's about nutrition?
Right, nutrition. What's a good book for starting off to reference? Obviously, ignore the fact that I'm married to Dr. Emma Kirk, consultant osmoologist. Any book that I can refer to kind of work out like how many meals I should have each day? And yeah, we'll start with that question.
Look at his beard.
I've got a really shaky beard.
I've got serious beard, you know.
It's like the biggest screen.
It probably looks more reasonable if I sit down. Oh yeah, well there's the camera. Yeah, so any good reference sources, because I could talk to Emma and stuff, but I want to start learning it myself. So is there anything I can reference that's just off the anybody?
In terms of books on nutrition, probably something by a guy called Alan Aragon would be.
Alan Aragon, you remember?
Yeah, would be a good place to start.
Right.
Other than that,
is it quite easy? Because none of this, I know the nutritional benefit of not eating chips and McDonald's, and all that type of stuff. I just want the really simplest guide, because I know I've got to eat at least every 2 to 3 hours, just to keep up my metabolism and everything else. And I know I've got to eat more because I'm 6'5" and I do actually want to get quite big. So is this still quite easy to get into? Then it's not too technical.
It's not too technical at all. I mean, there's plenty of sources you can go and find this stuff out.
Okay.
Again, it's not a one-size-fits-all type thing, though. You may react faster using said calculations that you get from person A, person B, person C, or you may react slower. You may react better with eating certain food groups than others. Again, it's about finding what is right for you as an individual, and also as well. I mean, there's, for me, and this is only my opinion, there's a fine line between optimal and convenience, because sometimes what's optimal isn't always convenient to do consistently over a long period of time.
Right.
So sometimes you've got to trade a bit of optimal protocol for something that's easier and more convenient to do over a long period of time.
All right, not in the sense of just because I'm not having a microwave or been out and about. You mean just like kind of slight adjustments in the middle that you might need, or finding someone that works for him and being consistent with what.
So yeah, so let's say for example, it might be easier for you to buy those fucking bags of fresh vegetables that you microwave as opposed to putting in the pan, boiling or steaming, because it makes your life easier, and you're going to be able to do that for a longer period of time. It's not going to be as much of a ball ache for you to do as it is to get a pan out the cupboard, fill it up with boiling water. I mean, this is just one example, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, what we want to do is make the process as easy as possible, because when the process is as easy as possible and gives you less things to do, less things to think about, you're going to do it for longer. And you do something for longer, and consistently, the result is going to be better.
Right. Okay.
And that's just my opinion, by the way. There's absolutely zero science behind that, or not that I've seen.
Well, I've done a little bit of, well, when I first got together with Emma, I've always weighed a lot, but then I've lost the weight, but I've been able to gain it in the sense of size, and I've never really had a consistent training partner, because I find it pretty crap to train on my own, but she's available on weekends and stuff, and that's great because she pushes me, as I'd like to have somebody with me all the time to do, but food's always been the biggest issue for me, because even though I'm a big lad and stuff like that, sometimes I just don't get it in, and sometimes I just don't want to, depending on how I'm feeling. So, but that's started to change. But I'll refer to that guy and then just give something a try with Emma's help, instead of going through one of these prep guys and then try and do it myself.
A good tip for you if you're struggling with nutrition, to getting stuff in for you sometimes, is maybe to look at switching a meal. If you don't feel like eating, have something that you can drink.
Right.
Like something simple as full fat milk with some oats, some peanut butter and chocolate protein powder. And
because Emma wouldn't tell me to do that, so I really like you, because I would do that. So that's full fat milk. You tell me to do that. Even the full fat milk and everything. Right. Okay.
But we just have almond milk.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. So yeah, full fat milk.
Full fat milk, some oats, some chocolate protein powder, some almond butter, or some peanut butter. That's just a quick go-to. If you're not hungry, but you can always get a drink down you, and that's going to give you good quality carbs, good quality protein, good quality fats.
Right.
And it'll digest a lot quicker than having a big fucking plate full of food that'll put your food coma.
Well, I'm an office worker, so they're not gonna take any smells in the office. So that kind of way of doing it would be for me, because I'll only be able to get it in at dinner time, and I ain't even started this company yet, and they've already said that they won't put it with like stinky fish at your table and all that type of crap. So
again, that's just an example of the convenience, like doing something that's a bit more convenient as opposed to what might be. I mean, you'll probably burn more calories from eating something that's solid in terms of digestion, but if you're not hungry, then it can be an absolute chore to eat if you're not hungry. So I wouldn't force it at certain times.
Right, you take it easy, dude. All right, thanks for the advice.
that advice was £30, by the way.
That's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? That.
I think does that not balance out the IT fee?
Yeah, of course it does. All right, thanks a lot, pal.
Okay, so we've got a question from Rob Slade, and he says, "Is cycling better for you than weights?"
It completely depends on what context. What is the goal that is wanting to be achieved? To say that maybe typing back, if it's for fat loss, then no. In my opinion, lifting weights, heavy and hard, at least 3 times a week is in my opinion, the optimal way to improve body composition. Obviously, if it's for a cycling race, then I think cycling would probably benefit more. If it's for general fitness, then, you know, incorporating a little bit of both. And again, in terms of, you know, the weights versus cardio thing, and people, I don't usually prescribe like low intensity cardio to people unless they need it at a certain stage or they really like it. For example, if people love going out for a run because it clears the head and stuff like that. So for somebody to come in and say, right, you can't do that anymore, then that's like, I wouldn't like that if that was done to me. So there's like, you know, there's a compromise that gets made and say, okay, well, if you're trying to put a lot of muscle on, then maybe going running or going and cycling is not going to be in line with wanting to put a lot of muscle on. But if you really enjoy it, then my job as a coach is to keep you engaged and to keep you happy to a certain extent. So, in my opinion, it's a compromise, and we've got to have stuff that you enjoy doing to keep you engaged, to keep you pushing hard, and obviously to keep you going for longer.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's as simple as that. You know, there's no point, like you said, giving anybody anything to do that they're not going to stick to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pointless. Okay, so Wayne Harrison says, which food is best to eat? I think that means before a ride out. So I'm presuming he means on a bike.
Right, okay. I mean, there's lots of variables in here. I mean, the ride out, how long is it going to be? Is it going to be intense? Is it going to be, you know, I think personal preference has got to play a part here, because there's how long are you going to eat? How long is the window before you go out for the ride, if you're going to eat, like, so you're going to do it 3 hours before, 2 hours before, 90 minutes before. I think it's that part of it's personal preference and how quickly you feel like you digest food and you feel good to go. I don't go out riding bikes, I just fall off them, so I couldn't tell you, but if I'm going to go and do exercise for a long period of time, such as a 3-hour basketball session, I like eating a carb-rich meal, with moderate amounts of protein about 3 hours before. I don't generally tend to have much vegetables in that meal because it slows digestion down. It makes me feel fuller for longer, and I don't like starting the exercise feeling still full. I like to feel like I've had food, that I'm not hungry, but I've got the food digested. But something carb-rich, such as, you know, sweet potato, rice, those type of things, I would, dependent on how long you're out riding for, if it's like 5-6 hours, maybe if it's a full day, I would eat something that is high in fat as well. But again,
would you take things with you, or advise people to take things for en route, perhaps?
Yes,
you know, so like a 6-hour endurance kind of thing, then, you know, that.
Yes. So I think with a 6-hour endurance thing, if you go to geneticsupplements.co.uk, hydrocarb is your friend. Hydrocarb is your friend. I repeat, hydrocarb is your friend. That's very, very, very good. It absorbs in the stomach in about 20 minutes, so it gets to work real fast, and it will keep you going. It's got electrolytes in there, and of course you can the energy gels that come with caffeine in, and the electrolytes are very popular with people that go cycling. I'm sure you already know that. They sell them in all the bike shops and stuff. So yeah, the fast digesting gels, all these type things are very good. Again, it's a personal preference thing. I would take some. I like bananas as well. I generally tend to find they sit well with me, but again, it's a personal preference thing.
See, I find that you've got to be really picky with your energy shots, because I had one the other day that I got that said it was a 7-hour energy boost, and take only half the bottle because it would be a tolerance test for half. So don't take the full one. I felt absolutely no difference whatsoever. And when I read the bottle, what it said was a full bottle was less than 2 cups of coffee. So half a bottle was less than 1.5 cups of coffee. Now, if you're a coffee drinker or a coffee addict, maybe that doesn't even hit the sides. So
no, it doesn't.
I mean, I got that for free, but if I'd have bought that, I would be pretty pissed. Do you know what I mean? Because it was like complete waste of money in my eyes. So if you know, you've got to be savvy with what you're buying. And I mean, I know a lot of people who love that hydrocarb. I put Sustain in my water if I'm going to do an endurance thing. So, and I think the genetic Sustain kind of, that does make a difference for endurance, not necessarily for a 40-minute weight blast or something, but definitely if I'm doing endurance stuff. So I think be savvy is what I would tell people.
Yeah, I agree with you with the Sustain. When I do a 2.5, 3 hour basketball session, I have a big water bottle where I put 2 scoops of Sustain in, and it keeps me going for the. It makes a difference, because usually in the last hour, I start to, if I don't have it, I start to lag a little bit, because it's full on, and that really sort of helps get you through. And then you notice when you don't have it. That's the best way to distinguish. Definitely.
It's not like having a Monster energy drink or something like that, where you kind of get that kick and that rush. But you do know if you're not taking it, which I think, I don't know about yourself, but I find a lot of the genetic supplements products are like that, because you don't necessarily see a huge difference instantly, but it's a long-term useful, and you know when you're not using it.
Absolutely.
How did you get involved with genetic supplements? I mean, I know obviously.
I was just, in all honesty, I was just a stalker, and I commented on everything that they put on Twitter. And honestly, I'll tell the truth. I wanted to work with them. But I had in my head that I wanted to work with them, and I just bought them. So I got a message Christmas time 2016, and said that they were interested in having me down as one of their ambassadors, and I was like, I didn't believe it was happening. If there was any company that I could work with, it would be like, if I had to choose one and I could choose any of the world, it would be genetics, purely because I know how good and the quality of the products are, and I've seen this little this correlation between genetics bringing a product out, such as phosphatidic acid, and then 6 months down the line, you start seeing other companies start following suit. And for me, they're the most innovative brand. I'm curious as fuck, for want of a better word, into trying new things and always wanting to see what works, what doesn't work. And for me, they have the best product range. And basically I got involved with them because I stalked them.
Excellent. So this is an example of how stalking can be useful. To be fair, I kind of did this a bit of a similar thing. I can't use whey protein, so I searched the market for the best vegan protein I could find, and I ended with genetic supplements. And I tried a lot of the others, and I'm sure you're aware vegan proteins can be nightmarish for sugar, high sugar content. They're just awful, and the flavor, because obviously they're usually hemp based. Anyway. So I started using their vegan protein and then making recipes with their vegan protein and tagging them. and that's kind of how I got involved with them, because it's a product I use. It's a product that I love using, and if people ask me, they don't, and because I know you're the same. We're not paid to tell people that the product's great. The product is great, and the product will speak for itself. And it's just that's I've just landed there because I've done my research, and I can't find anything that outdoes it. To be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the way that they. For me, I don't handle lactose very well at all. Gluten I'm not so bad with nowadays. In fact, I'm pretty good with it. But lactose still doesn't agree with me, and I use Isolate Zero, and I use the vegan protein.
Yeah.
And I have started using the high calorie shake as a post-workout drink. The digestive enzymes that have lactase in that help me digest the whey protein. It's a high calorie shake. So I've got literally all bases covered just through genetics, which is really, really good.
Have you tried the Pepto if you struggle with the lactose? Have you tried the Pepto?
Yeah.
That's pre-digested. So that's that might work for you.
Okay.
I sound like a sales rep now. They do a coconut cocktail. It's immense.
Nice.
And I don't know if you've tried Peptos from anyone else, but the flavour is just the coconut cocktail is brilliant. So yeah, maybe try that. Maybe try that. This is really, it's just selling the over here. Right. So anyway, I have a couple of more questions. What goals do you have left for yourself? Because you've pretty much done like amazing stuff, and you've represented your country, and what else is left? What else is left for you to do?
I mean, I still have sporting goals. There's, I mean, in terms of my sport, I obviously want to win everything that I enter into. A big goal of mine is to speak on stage. I brought a book out last year that was specifically designed for wheelchair users, because there's a lot of wheelchair users out there that think that they themselves off, and they're scared that they can't go to a gym and exercise, or they think there's nothing for them. And some of them have actually been to the gym and been back and hearing that story. And they all have similar problems. If they're on their own, they can't do certain things by themselves. So I devise the complete training system almost the wheelchair user can use and perform without leaving the wheelchair to transfer onto a bench or a machine, and without the assistance, of anybody else. And it's something that I would like to improve on in the system and build on. And I would like to speak on stage and help more people on a bigger scale.
Where can people get this book?
I should know this question. No, it's you can get it on Amazon, or you can get it directly from www.zar-training.com. Or you can contact me directly, and I can link you up. And the goal is just to keep helping people and keep building on that and keep doing it on a bigger scale. And maybe to grow some balls and jump out of the plane. That'd be a good goal to have, but I can't see that happening anytime soon. It's something I've been thinking about doing for years and years and years, but just haven't got time, to be honest with you. That's my excuse.
Okay. Is that because you keep polishing all of your medals?
Yes. No, it's something I would really love to do, because I think I've been on a really spiritual journey, for want of a better word, the past 2 years, and
I'm used to getting way out of my comfort zone with almost everything that I do. I think it allows for you to grow as a person. And heights is I'm terrified of heights, absolutely terrified. And I just think that would be the next step for me to keep growing, to face something that I'm scared of so much in the face. That would be a big thing for me. So maybe in the future.
Okay, I'll come watch. I'll cheer from the floor. Okay, so if you were going to describe yourself as an animal, what would the animal be?
What's the animal that always laughs? Is it
a hyena?
Yeah.
You want to be a hyena?
I don't want to be one, but I'm always laughing, so maybe that's a good fit. No, one of my old basketball coaches used to call me a Welsh pit pony because I am a grafter. When I train, there's no coasting type. I only know one zone. When I work, there's only one way I know how to work, and that's to fucking graft. I used to be called a Welsh pit pony by my ex-GB coach. So
I'm not sure you look like a pit pony, but so if you were going to meet somebody like an idol, who are your idols? Who would you most like to meet? Other than me, obviously.
I'd say the person that I've idolised most in my life would be my granddad, and to meet him one more time would be more than enough. Just got a little bit emotional. Other than that, I think I would love to meet Michael Jordan, only because I have so much respect for the guy's work ethic and what he has achieved. And not only that, the fact that he's, very open about the amount of times that he's failed during his career, but he's kept going, and I really love the story behind him, as well as all his successes. He's got a great story. But no, if there's somebody that I could meet, it would be my granddad again.
Oh, what did he do? What did your granddad do?
He was a builder by trade, but he when I first started playing basketball, even going back sort of 20 years, a brand new sports wheelchair was something like $3,000 to buy, and family couldn't afford nowhere near that kind of money. And my granddad said, I will build you one. And we just all laughed. And 3 months later, he'd been and bought all the materials and built me a fucking sports wheelchair in his back garden with his bare hands. He sewed all the upholstery with a fucking sewing machine. And it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And he's the guy that, he took time to take me to training once a week, then twice a week, then 3 times a week, and he did everything he could for me to get to where I am today. He's the reason I am where I am today.
He sounds like a legend, absolute legend.
Yes.
I mean, did he research it, or did he just like make up a wheelchair from?
He just made one up, and he completely came up with his own design. He wasn't an engineer; he was a hairy ass plasterer from St. Helens. Like he's, But yeah, he actually set up a small business, and he was getting orders from charities and all sorts. And he started doing a lot of charity work through doing that, and he did a lot of good. And just from that one thing of building me a wheelchair, he did a lot of good for a lot of people. He was building chairs for WizKids, which is a big charity.
I know that. Yeah.
He was an amazing guy.
You see, that sort of thing though makes me believe like the statement, everything happens for a reason. And you had your accident, which has changed your life, but at the same time, the knock-on effect of that has changed other people's lives as well. Because without that, your granddad wouldn't have done something amazing and helped all of those people.
Absolutely. No, I truly agree with you. Truly agree with you.
Yeah, he does sound legendary. I'd like to meet him too, I think. He reminds me of my granddad. He would do anything.
As well. He used to be a bodyguard. Years and years ago, he was a bodyguard for people like Cliff Richard and other famous people. He had some stories. Like I could sit there and listen to him all night. He had some stories.
Yeah, I bet he did. I bet he's proud of you, though. I'm sure he will be. Yeah. Okay, so is there any advice you would give somebody as like a final thing if they were starting out in maybe wanting to go down the wheelchair basketball route, or just starting out in a new fitness goal generally? What would you kind of advise?
Okay, well, I think in terms of somebody that's wanting to start leading a healthier lifestyle, it can be very overwhelming with the amount of information that's out there. So, first and foremost, don't be afraid to ask for help. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised at how many people are willing to help. And when you start your journey doing whatever you're doing, always remember that you're on your own journey. Like, one of my favorite quotes is, "Comparison is the thief of joy." So never compare where you're at with somebody else, because they're not better than you. You're not better than them. Everybody's saying all there is people that's further down the line in their journey than maybe you are in your journey. So concentrate on doing your thing, and just be consistent with doing what you're doing, and stick the course. Don't, if things start to slow down, or something doesn't work, there's a million and one ways to do things. Just stay consistent and stay the course, and just be yourself and never be afraid to ask for help.
I like that. What was that quote again?
Comparison is the thief of joy.
I like that. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. So the main message would be consistency.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add, like at all, or do you want to let's just say goodbye?
Yeah, actually, the biggest turning point in my life has been the day when I stopped caring what people thought about me, and I was just me, not being afraid to be me, and not being afraid to act how I act. The day you stop thinking about what people think of you and worrying about what people think of you is the day that you will go like this. I was always that person that was afraid and worrying what people thought. Now I couldn't give a flying.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but I'm just true to myself. And since then, life is much easier, much better, much more enjoyable.
Yeah. My granddad always used to say to me, be true to yourself first, your family second, and then nobody else matters.
Yes. Yeah.
And I always stuck to me with that. I think about that all the time, because we unfortunately, I think now society is going more to a comparison. So everything's about what everybody else is doing, what everybody else looks like, what everybody else is eating, the perfect kind of image that's created, and everyone wants to emulate that. It's that's the 10% of their life that's shiny and perfect, not 100, and you're trying to replicate that 100% of the time. It just doesn't work. So be you is exactly what I would say to people. But I do. My granddad told me that when I was only little, and remember it's stuck. Yeah. So yeah, perfect. Anyway, so I don't know. What time is it where you are?
It is just gone 9 p.m.
Ah, okay. So it's just 8 o'clock here. So I'm gonna go and have my tea, which apparently I'm having something that Tony's created. So it may just be chips. Anyway, my love, it was brilliant talking to you. Thank you so much for being so honest. And just in case anybody does have an issue with the odd swear word that was involved, I do apologise if you were offended at all. So yeah, hopefully we can do something else in the future. But let me know when you're back in the UK in the summer, and we'll try and hook up.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.